you will need thread, a needle to fit through your beads, 2 colors of size 10 seed beads. You'll need your main color and an accent color, and about 6 buttons. You will also need a 3-inch ornament, round ornament of your choice. Now, every ornament is going to have a different size top, so the pattern's going to vary according to your ornament. What you want to do is you want to thread on 36 of your main colored bead and just test it out. Now see how that fits? If the 36 beads aren't enough and you have a gap, like if they don't quite reach up here, just add more. What you want is to make it long enough that it fits, but you want to keep it at a number that end up with a number that's dividable by 12. So for me the 36 works, so I'm going to take it off, find my end, bring the beads down to it. So this is my end here, and I'm just going to tie it in a knot. Any knot will do. Just tie it in a knot. Just tie another one. There you go. Now take your tail and either thread it back through your loop, or you can go between the beads where it came out. Just take the needle and just pass it up some random number of beads. Okay. Now this is where the knot is and your tail is. Watch what happens when I pull from here. You're going to pull the knot from here to here. You're kind of like shifting the inside thread. See how your tail disappeared into here? Bead on 5 silver beads. Now, taking your ring, it doesn't matter which direction you work in right now, but because we worked in multiples of 12, and mine is 36, so I'm going to go every 3rd bead. So I'm going to skip, so my thread comes out here, and I'm going to skip 1, 2, and then I'm going to go through my 3rd bead. And that's my first point. Another 5 silver beads. This is where my thread comes out. I'm going to skip 1, 2, and go into the 3rd bead. Okay, do that all the way around. You should have 12 of these points. Okay, so now I have my last set of 5. So 11 points to make the 12 and to finish off and step up to the next round. Just like we did for all of these, we're going to skip the next 2 beads and see this 3rd bead where this comes out of. This is the very first one that we started with, and so 1, 2, 3, right? Just pull your thread through, and then you're just going to go up through your first point and come out the middle bead. just like that. Oops. Let's try that again. There you go. Make sure it's all nice and snug. You don't want any loose pieces. Now take 9 of your accent beads. I'm using teal. And so now it does matter which way you work. Let's flip this around. So the thread is coming out on this side, so we're going to work counterclockwise. If the thread was on the bottom side here, we'd work clockwise. Because if I take this and go to this point, it's going to pull it funny. It's not going to lay nice. So with our 9 on there, we're going to go to the next point, and just like we did for the poinsettia ornament, we're going to go through the middle of the point. So we did 5 beads, you want to go through the 3rd. Just like that. Now get another 9 of these and go through the next point in the middle, just like we did here, and just do it all the way around. I've got my final 9 teal beads, and to finish off the row, like we did before, we're going to go through this middle bead, and we're going to go up through these green beads, and you're going to come up the middle bead. So we did 9, so you're going to come out the 5th. And just make sure your beads are pulled nice and snug. There's no loose gaps. For the next row, we're going to repeat the green row, but we're going to use the silver beads. So we're going to do 9 silver beads and just keep going through the middle point and do 1 row of silver. Now you should have something that looks like this. This time you're going to use 15 green beads, and we're just going to work the row like we did the previous row. Okay, so I've just finished that row, and you should have something that looks like this. Next, we're going to do 13 silver beads. We're going to add our button. So now there's a bit of a gap between these 2 holes, so I want to fill it. Okay, I'm going to use 3 silver beads. There we go. And then add another 13 silver beads. So once you have 13 silver beads, your button, and then another set of 13 silver beads, we're going to go through the middle bead of your next point, like we did before. We're going to do the next loop, which will be 27 silver beads with no button. And we're going to go through the next loop and go through the middle. There we go. So just repeat this all the way around. So you're going to go 13, button, 13, middle loop, 27, middle loop, and then repeat. Button, silver, button, silver, button. Okay, so now to finish up this row, I have my last set. So what I'm going to do is just like we did before, go through the green or the middle button. And there you go. Now to step up to the next row with these buttons, so for this one, I'm just going to thread my needle back up through this row of beads. Okay, just like that. Careful you don't get snagged. Okay. Now, what you want to do is you want to go through the top hole, and you're going to go through these top 3 and back down through, because if you can imagine, this button, all 3, is the middle is the equivalent to the middle bead. So now that we've come out of it, if you look on the back, now we're ready to start our next row and go to the next point. Now what we're going to do is we're going to work in reverse. So now we want 13 silver, 1 green, 13 silver, and then we're just going to go over here and we're going to go through the middle silver bead. Now with the next set of 13 silver, 1 green, 13 silver, we're going to go through the center of the next loop, which happens to be a button. So what we're going to do is go back through the buttonhole, and we're going to go through the beads on the front, and then we're going to go back down the other buttonhole, missing these beads. You don't want to go through the beads. That acts as your center bead. So now from here, you're going to do another set of these. So just keep doing this all the way around. Okay, so I have my final set to finish my row, and I'm just going to do like we did before. I'm going to go up through the button, just like as if we were going to do another one, and then go back down just the button. Okay, so just the button. Now, so now we're back at the start where we started this row. Now what you want to do is you want to go through this row that we just put on. We're going to go through those beads and come up out of the green. There we go. Alright, now you're ready for the next row. For the next round, you'll need 7 green, 1 silver, 7 green, and just like we did in the previous rows, we're going to go to the next loop and go through the middle. In this case, the middle bead is marked by this green one here. So I'm just going to go through it. So our next loop is up here, so we'll do another set of these and we'll go through this middle green. Just repeat this all the way around, going through each of these green beads.